Hey, what's happening with everybody? My name is Haydn Adams with A Designer That Codes. And in our last video, we took a look at and saw how we could build a grid to create this 8-image grid system. It looks good, but there's a lot of code. And if you notice it, that this repeats there, repeats here, repeats here. I did a lot of finding and replacing when it came to my code in my last example. But what if there was a better way to write this? And there is, and that's using props within the Gatsby JS system. We're running Gatsby. We might as well utilize all that we can within Gatsby. So I want to show you how you can write better code with invariably less mistakes, because the less code I write, the less mistakes I'm invariably going to make. And if I have to fix it, it's fixing it once, not fixing it, in this case, 8 times. I want to show you how to do that. Let's get started. All right, welcome back. As you can see, I have a lot of duplicated information down below. What if I could write this once and just have it repeat over and over again? That's the power of props, because you can pass data from one area to the next within Gatsby JS. I'm going to go to the very top and go above the export, and I'll just put it about, if I go this way, I'll say line 10. I'm going to write a construct area that I can then repeat over and over again. I'm going to say const, and I'm going to say organization. The only reason why I say this one is I just want to make sure the word is not anywhere that's ubiquitous. So if I say the word organization, you'll see it repeat down below at a later time. Construct organization, I'm going to say equals, and put the word props. This will allow me to pass data through this area and pass it down below. Equal sign, greater than symbol, and parentheses. In here, I'm going to do is notice how this turned yellow. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to save anything, because if I do it, it's going to crash and burn because I haven't used the organization yet anywhere else. I'm going to say the following. I'm going to say call and repeat the same process right here. 3.6. I'm going to copy it, bring it up, close my column, hit the return key, and now it created the space. Since I want to repeat this column, I'm going to start it up here and then repeat it down below. I'm then going to repeat this process right here. I'm going to copy and paste this. In fact, I'll just keep it there for right now. What I want to do is I'm going to paste this in. And what I have now is an ability to duplicate this organization. So what I can do next is I can then, instead of saying image down below, I can take this out and say organization. Now it's a single close, so I have to then say space / that. And just for fun, let's see if this is going to crash and burn. I'm going to take everything else out because, once again, I would start with one first and see how it works. If it worked, check it out. Placeholder image. That's pretty great. So I can then copy and paste this 8 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And voila, 8 come right back. Check this out. I've only written my column once, but I've applied it 8 times. That to me is just, I love this, because the less code I can do, the less mistakes I can make. I can change this to whatever I want now. So if I want to say 2 and 3, it's going to be pretty wacky, but it'll still work. Now look, it just magically changed all 8 of them to go 2, which of course would be 6 across. And if I make it smaller, it eventually will kick in to that 1, 3 equals 4, and 6. That's just the power of Gatsby JS, which I really like about this tool. It makes things easier to code going forward. So this setup is fantastic, but there's one glaring problem. chances are pretty good you're not going to have the same picture 8 times over. So how do we go about writing some custom variables in this direction to pass data from below to up top? Or I guess you could put that below and anyways. I want to write some sort of variable right here that captures data to then push the data up to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write something brand new. Instead of saying circ equals placeholder image, we're going to bring him back. I'm going to say circ or source props dot image. And what this allows me to do is I can create an image parameter down below. So I'm going to say organization image equals placeholder image. What that allowed me to do is, yes, success. What I did was, now we only have one picture, but if we draw the lines to this direction, and if we look at it back and forth, the first step of having this picture is to import at the very top. This is the name placeholder image. If we go down below and look at it, to placeholder image down here, organization image placeholder image. This word image is the variable up here. So if saying this alt is one amazing photo, we can write the same thing. I'm going to say alt equals one amazing photo. And I'm going to change the alt from props dot alt. And if I save it, what you really can't see is the alt information. Now, granted, I only have one picture, so if I actually copy and paste this, yes, I am duplicating the information. However, let's just drop it in here, and copy and pasting is pretty much like watching paint dry. I totally get that, but I can say 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I've changed the alt for all the pictures. We can't see it here, obviously, because it's behind the actual picture. But if we were to go take a look, I'm going to grab Chrome just to see if it did appropriate the different alt information. And localhost 8000. And if I inspect this photograph, we should see that the alt information is 3 amazing photo. That's great because now I've organized this as a much more formal setting. So I can always add a second picture, a third picture, a fourth picture, a fifth picture. What I like about this setup is it's clean, it's easy to read. And now what I've done is I've written the column once, it sits within the row, and I can just change the organization image right here. If I get rid of this, and I'm going to go back to Safari in this way. Once again, you can see it does work. And if I just take one of them out, I'm going to comment it out for right now, and drop it in, and one goes away. It still works flawlessly. So here's a way of writing props within Gatsby JS to make your columns be so much richer if you use the same sort of column for a repetition in design. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you loved it, I'd love to get a thumbs up. If you really, really, really loved it, please subscribe to this channel as this helps me move forward, and leave any comments. See if you got this down. Did the construct and the props leave you going, oh my God, this is too crazy? Or did the prop part actually make a lot of sense? And now your code is much easier readable and workable. Once again, my name is Haydn Adams with A Designer That Codes, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.